I'm back again. Can't get rid of me. I'm here. Vegas Live with Ninon. And I'm not, I have no intention of disappearing. And we have quite a few guests today, which have, and mostly in the music business, but they're all very different and they all do very different things. I have Jimmy Cisneros. I don't know if I got that right.
Yes.
I did, Cisneros?
Yes.
I got it right. Cool. Get all these points. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
Now, I don't pre-interview my guests, so I just turn around and say, by the way, what do you do? And he says, I play a bass. And he says, I play a big bass.
Yes.
Well, I've never known a bass to be a small bass. So I'm a little...
Yes, this is very true.
The basses are usually very, very... They're
Yes.
big, aren't they? You know, they plung away there.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a tremendous sound coming out of them only if you know how to play them.
Yes.
So
well,
now,
it's,
you obviously know.
Yes, I started 2008, actually by accident. I moved here to Southern Nevada after some family things, and here in public school, it's offered free public, music. So
Yes.
I started there, and the teacher of the school called my mom. I found this out later, but
He's got a talent.
yeah, exactly. He called and he said I should probably, pursue this and get some education because I was taking to it so fast he couldn't keep up. He couldn't keep up with.
Oh, your
how
teacher
fast I
couldn't
was.
keep up with you.
Yes.
So that's why he called. Well, that was
That's why he
nice
was
of him to
telling- yeah.
call your
He was
mom.
telling my mom to be, you should. So
Pursue what
after
you
that,
do.
yes. After that, I went to the Las Vegas Academy here in high school and spent all 4 years there learning, music, and being
Learning.
exposed to how symphony works.
So
and
did you suddenly
life.
decide this is what you wanted to do?
Yes, I did. In 7th grade, I
Now,
was
are
like
you
maybe
in a
14.
band or are you in a symphony?
I do.
Both.
I'm involved in all. Yes, I do both. I'm involved in several different groups, about 7 here. in
Oh,
Southern
really?
Nevada. Yes, I do.
Then you know why he's involved with several groups, don't you? Because he's very good. Because he's not
I
going to
do
be
my
there.
best. I do my best.
Well, it sounds like you've got a talent that you don't recognize how great your talent is. I think he's been James. I'm now going to call him James. His name is Jimmy and whatever.
Thank you.
You're very humble.
Thank
That's
you.
very. So, do you prefer to play in a big band, like an orchestra, or do you like the band, like the stage with the Sinatras and all that kind of stuff?
That's hard. It depends. It depends on the music. Honestly, it depends on the music that I'm in the mood. Yeah.
What
it
sort of
depends on the
music do you like to?
I'm a big fan of big orchestral things, as well as like Broadway, like show tunes and like.
So you're kind of all rounded, aren't you?
Yeah,
you
I can do.
sort of,
Yes.
What about loud music? Any of the rock and roll music?
It's all right.
It's-
I was into it in high school for a while. I was in
Yeah.
a band, but I didn't
Then
really.
he calmed down. He said,
Yeah,
I can't keep up with.
I couldn't
I can't
really.
keep up with all this.
Yes.
So you
exactly.
really
I'm much
prefer to
more
be
refined.
in a you're more refined. You like
Yeah.
to be in a big orchestra. Are you ever? Do you ever play solos?
Yeah, I do sometimes. Yes, I have my own group that I started during
Oh,
the pandemic,
fabulous.
actually, because everything was shut down. All the groups that I played for were all shut down. So
So you thought,
we started.
So this opened up a door for you. So the
Mhm.
pandemic, the pandemic wasn't so bad for many people because I also opened up something else that I started because I was in home all the time.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
started your own band.
Yes.
How
I
big is your
started
band?
it. It's about 10 people right now.
10.
Yes, they're all string players and one flute.
One what?
One flute.
Oh,
Sorry.
one flute. I guess you said flip.
I said flout. I'm sorry. I'm
flute.
just
Flute. Okay.
Italian.
One flute.
Sorry.
That's a flute.
All these terms and
Yes, terms
everything.
now.
Yeah, you have to know.
So you have, and are you planning on making that bigger?
Maybe in the future, just a little bit bigger. I'd like to add the winds and brass section eventually.
So
I
you
can
know
do-
how a band is put together, obviously over the years.
Yes.
How many years have you been playing now?
Probably about 14.
14 years now. So you've kind of got it down pat.
Mhm.
How
The
long?
last 7 have been probably, I'd say, professional.
Professional.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of.
A lot of professionals. Do you get booked a lot?
Yeah, well, just more recently, yes. Like in the last year, I've been.
Isn't that
Been really-
fabulous? It's been really good.
Yes.
Are you surprised by it, or are you turning around and saying, well, all what I learned and all what I did and all what I studied is now paying off?
Yeah, yes, yes, that's kind of what I've started to realize over the last couple months. Is it's starting to
People are starting to
slowly, but
understand.
yes, it's starting to.
Are you also feeling comfortable where you're at? Because if you're comfortable where you're at and what you're doing, it just comes very natural and it becomes very easy.
Oh,
it's not like a hard work or anything.
Exactly. That's why I do all of these. I play for Henderson Symphony, Nevada Chamber Orchestra, Desert Winds, which is an all-wind group. I'm the
We're
only
now
string
learning
player.
how where he is.
Yeah. I have my
You
own
are
group.
really
My own
humble,
group
you know
is
that.
ClassicalLV, and then I do Southern Nevada Symphony out of Mesquite as well.
Oh, really?
So I do, yeah.
So you're traveling an awful lot all around.
All over the city.
You know, when you get all these bookings, you get excited and you get kind of feel, wow. You know,
it's a challenge. Each one is a new I've been with Henderson for a while, and they do the concerts they do are very, very different. The music, and we have maybe about a week and a half. So
to rehearse. I was going to say, how do you rehearse with all these other people?
You have to. It's hard to put together. It's
now,
very
are you
tough.
playing?
You have to have people who can really either read or know how it goes. Really
because you know.
Yeah, I can do both.
You can do both. So that's why you have your own band.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does your own band?
I love reading.
You love reading.
Yes.
You love reading. No, you love reading music.
Yes, I have so much, and read books too, but that's a different.
Now that's something.
But I play so much. I have a stack probably about this big in my room of just music that
you play
over high school, and I just collected.
And you know all these.
Oh yes, we can go through the whole.
So when somebody comes up to you and they book you and they say, "Can you play da 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 whatever it is," and you can mostly say yes.
Yeah.
And you just hope the rest of the band can play it.
Yes, exactly.
Can that be tough?
That's why another reason I started my own thing, because I'm the only bass. Well, there's another bass player, but it's.
But you play together.
We play together really well. We met at UNLV. I spent some time at UNLV.
Okay.
For a couple of years there, and I was continued my classical through there. Music education.
James, did you ever think that all the training and everything you went through that you'll be where you are now? Did you kind of? I know you hoped it. You hoped that this would happen, but now it kind of has happened. I mean, in the last, as you're saying, in the last few months.
Yes.
So it can only get bigger and better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So what is your goal? Because this goal's got
bigger.
Goal,
I would.
Bigger.
I want to play for probably overseas somewhere in some major orchestra.
Oh, so you want to be in the opera house? Sorry, you want to be in the opera house in Rome. You want to be in. You love opera?
Yes, being in the pit playing for that is just a wonderful experience.
And that is definitely very European.
Yes,
that's very.
So,
and then of course we've got the London Harmonic Orchestra, I believe.
Yes, London LSO, London Symphony.
Symphony. Yes. Have you played in that yet?
No.
We're putting a message out there.
I've been to China.
You've been to China?
Yes.
How did they like you in China?
They loved it. I don't know if they get a lot of that over there.
Well, they send a lot of their younger generation over here to learn
for the education,
to play the violin and to play in an orchestra.
Yes, I'm not sure if it's offered over there, but at least when I was there in 2011, it wasn't. We had like groupies following us.
How wonderful!
It was the same people.
Was it very different to play there?
Yes,
and
very
because I would imagine it's a little bit more quiet, a little bit more polite, a little bit more relaxed.
Yes,
but also you have to know. Yeah, very big. Yes. How big was the orchestra?
Well, the one we went with when we went on tour was probably about 100 people, but when we got there,
they added to it.
Yeah. Huge. I had an opportunity to play with the Qinghua Symphony when we were there in Qinghua.
Oh my goodness.
Their bass section was actually, through various circumstances, they were missing about 5 or 6 people, so they needed more people. They asked us to come.
And they asked you to come and play there.
Yeah, so it was really. We just had to learn the music that day. There was the dress
rehearsal. You probably learn music pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because you can attach it all together. I don't know how you learn all this stuff, but you attach it all together and the strings go and this beautiful sound comes out. But obviously.
Music is universal. It doesn't matter.
So what's your goal?
My goal is to be able to make music not only in a big group, but just be able to make music and bring it to the community and be able to survive and live such a nice life to be able to do that.
Of what you want to do. Do you ever write any of these things?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I arrange, but
do arrangements?
I can. I've done it before in the past. It's right now my only hindrance is I don't have a computer, so I have to do it by hand.
You don't have a computer? Why?
Sometimes I do it by hand.
Why don't you have a computer? I can't say
it's a long story. It's a long story. Okay. It was either a computer or my instruments. So
computers can be long stories, and they can definitely be a long story with me because I had something. My Instagram all of a sudden went off the other day for no reason, and then I'm calling up my producer Maria, and I said I don't, and she said, well, I can't get in either. Then all of a sudden, last night, I thought, oh, let me try it again. So I tried it. And I got in. I don't know what happens, and I'm not about to find out. I just go along with it. Exactly. So do you have an agent here?
No, I'm just myself. Right.
How lovely is that? So you get your own gigs and do your own thing. Well, it's not really a gig, it's because you can't call an orchestra a gig.
It's hard, yes.
It's not, it's an orchestra.
Yes.
And you have your own orchestra that which you're putting together.
Yes.
And you've got 10-piece orchestra, so you can play for some pretty big singers in town.
Well, yes, definitely.
Do you get booked for that at all yet?
Not yet, but that would be nice. That would be awesome.
So I'm going to put this out there that you have your own orchestra that you can play with any of these big hotels, but also to back any of the big singers.
Definitely.
There is nothing like because they always have like trios and 4 and 5 people in a band, which is great. But when you have behind you a 10 people, Sinatra always had a big orchestra.
Yes.
So if you have a big orchestra behind you that know what they're doing, and a great singer, like a Bublé,
yes.
I'm putting the word out there purposely because you could probably play for a Bublé, right? Could you? Yeah, would you like to do that?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
Put out a few names of your dreams.
Please.
Who else? I'm putting Paul James on the spot.
I don't know. Anybody that's willing. We offer so much great string work. It's very the people that I've assembled. They play so nicely together, and the whole thing together is just a great.
So this is a dream of yours that has actually come true, and it didn't really take you too long, did it?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of really saw the door open with the pandemic. That was really kind of the launching point.
Isn't that amazing? Because everybody's complaining about the pandemic, and you're enhancing. Well, I'm doing the same thing because I actually started a show, Ninon Speaks. I started, and that was the pandemic because I thought everything was going to close down, so I'll do it on Zoom, and here we go.
My grandma always said, "You got to make the best out of the situation." So
well, yeah, because you're still living every day. You're still doing things every day.
I called a bunch of people, and they all decided to, come together, and we've been making music ever since.
Isn't that wonderful? It's absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of you, James.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What nationality are you?
I am a third native, a third Spanish, and a third Mexican.
Okay, so because I'm trying to I thought Italian, but I'm totally off beat now. Totally gone.
It's okay. No,
it's okay. It could be I guess because I'm part Italian, I'm not. I'm pure English, but I was married to an Italian. But in England, and I was brought out, actually, every Sunday, we would go to a concert.
Oh, wow.
And I can remember Rudolph Piero Gambo was one of the conductors. There was so many of them. But I remember I was brought up with classical music, so I know quite a lot about I love classical music.
Beautiful.
And but also I love modern music. What do you like to play? You like both? You like all of it?
I like all of it. I like a lot of jazz. I like a lot
of
I
love jazz.
Reggae isn't bad. I tend to go towards the bass side.
Of course. That's what
that's
you
just
play.
Me.
That's because that's what he plays.
Blues,
the
blues,
blues, yes.
So nice.
Blues, the blues also.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
well, he's been an amazing guest. Absolutely wonderful. So how do people get in touch with you?
Well, right now the group has a YouTube account, ClassicalLV. That is kind of the only thing that I've been using.
And how do they get to the YouTube? What's it called?
ClassicalLV. Classical, like classical, missing the L with a capital L and V at the end.
Okay, wonderful. So don't forget to reach out, book him. I mean, and you do private part. Well, you do private parties,
yes.
but you've got to be a pretty large house.
Weddings, anything. Yeah.
Weddings, weddings, any of that. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, James, for
Thank you.
being here.
Thank
Absolute honor to get somebody in the classical business, but also he likes his jazz.
Yes.
We'll be right back with our next guest, Vegas Live with Ninon. Take care.